you got a new camera, or at least maybe new to you, and you have no idea how to use it. There's so many buttons, so many things going on with it. So what we're going to do today is we're going to take a look at two different types of cameras. The first one is a digital single lens reflex, also known as DSLR, and the other one is a mirrorless camera. So we're just going to take a look at these. Both of these are either entry level or medium level, kind of close to entry level, so they're going to have similar functions and features. The first one we're going to look at here is the DSLR. Why is this the first one we're looking at? Well, quite honestly, because DSLRs are your most affordable way to get into photography. If you have not purchased a camera yet and you're looking to purchase one, I would personally recommend starting with a DSLR because you can get them much, much cheaper than mirrorless. But if you already have your camera, or if you are wanting to upgrade a current camera that you have and you're wanting to move to mirrorless, disregard that. But if you already have a DSLR or are looking for one, some of the things that you need to be thinking of is, why is this different from a mirrorless? Well, the reason it's called digital single lens reflex is because inside the camera, there's a mirror. That mirror concentrates the light that comes through the lens, pops it up into a pentaprism up here, and then you see the image in the viewfinder. Conversely, a mirrorless camera does not have that mirror in there, and it doesn't have a pentaprism viewfinder. What you're looking at is basically exactly what you're going to take a picture of. Same thing here, it's just that mirror has to pop up out of the way in order for you to take an image. So secondly, we have a mirrorless camera. So just like the name suggests, there is no mirror. If you take the lens off here, you can see that all you see is the sensor. There's no mirror there protecting it. So we don't want to expose it for too long without either a lens or a dust cap on it. Mirrorless cameras are typically newer cameras. Because it does not have that mirror in there to be able to see what you're shooting, it's basically just like, your iPhone or your camera phone, where it's showing like a digital video representation of what you're going to shoot. Mirrorless cameras are typically lighter than their DSLR counterparts because they don't have to have as much going on in there, but they are going to be typically more expensive. It all depends on the range of camera you're looking for, but they are newer. That's why they're usually going to be more expensive. Also, you need to understand that they take different types of lenses. No matter what camera manufacturer you're dealing with, Nikon, Canon, Sony, etc., they take their own proprietary mirrorless lenses. You can get an adapter that will work on a mirrorless camera to take non-mirrorless lenses, but you just need to be aware of that before you buy. Obviously, over here, we've got a directional pad that can take us through some menus. The Q set button, if I click the Q set button on Canon, you can see that the Q set button allows me to manipulate individual screens. Now, this camera has a unique, interesting feature for the SL2, SL3, SL1 of Canon. Will give you like a little explanation of what you're doing, adjust the level of background blur, for instance. Not all cameras do this. This is why this is an entry-level camera. The AV button, if you push and hold that and turn the scroll wheel, that's going to change your aperture. You can see that kind of moving back and forth. If I don't hold that button down and I change the scroll wheel, that's going to change the shutter speed up top. On the top here, I've got a button for ISO, and I can click that once, and I can just click on this button here, or I can click the scroll wheel to go through the different settings there. Down here, obviously, this is the playback function. I push that to see my images. I delete them with the trash can. Up here, I've got this button right here is zoom in and zoom out. So when I am playing images back, like that right there, I can click on that button and I can zoom in or I can zoom out. And up here, right there, it looks like a little checkerboard. Same thing here. I can come in here and choose which one of these I want to use for my focusing options. This button right here is for live view. So on a mirrorless camera, you don't have that button. It's automatically always in live view, but you can see exactly what you're getting through the camera LCD screen there. On a DSLR, you typically look through the viewfinder to see this information. I do not recommend you use the live view button very much on a DSLR because it will drain your battery very quickly. Over here, we've got the info button. And here's what's great about the info button. If you push play to see one of your images and then you hit the info button, here's what will happen. It'll give you some different screens to look at. So it'll give you a screen with just some simple overlay, a big time overlay with a bunch of information on there, like your histogram and your aperture and your shutter speed and all that. And then it will give you just kind of an unclogged look here of just purely of the image. Obviously, the menu button is to go in and go through and change your menu settings, and we'll go through those in a different video here. So those are the main buttons on the back screen here. Now, other cameras obviously are going to have some different buttons back there, but many things will kind of be the same. Sometimes, like you can see what looks like a wheel here. Well, that's actually the program mode wheel. Some cameras are going to have a wheel back here that allow you to change the aperture without having to push this AV button. But if you have a camera that does not have a scroll wheel on the back, you're going to have to push this AV button or the plus minus exposure compensation button to be able to change your aperture if you're in manual mode. So be aware of that. Let's take a look at the top of the camera. Here's our shutter button. This is our control ring for our shutter speed. So if I scroll that, we're going to change our shutter speed. If I push and hold the AV button and I scroll that, that'll change the aperture. The display button, as I'm looking on the back of the screen, I can click the display button to show different modes. ISO, I can push and hold that to change my ISO. Then I've got my program dial right here. You can see there's the M for manual, AV for aperture priority, TV for shutter priority, P for program mode, and I've got this A mode, that is complete auto mode there. And then these, I'm not going to go into detail because these are going to be different on every camera, what they are for, but you can set up custom modes in there as well. Over here, this little button, you're not going to see this on every camera, but this is like a wireless button to connect it wirelessly to something. This is your hot shoe. This is where you're going to put like a flash or a different type of accessory, depending on the camera that you might have. And you can just barely see it here. This is your diopter adjustment. So you can change if you wear glasses and you look through the viewfinder and you're not wearing your glasses, you might have to adjust this so that you can see clearly through there.